You can't deliver immediately when people are ready to buy.
You don't want to have too much product that you can't sell it, but you also need to have just enough. So it's a fun balance that we're trying to figure out as we grow too.
What else is key to your guys' growth strategy?
We've had actually quite a few people reach out to us wanting to promote our product. Someone had like over 1 million followers. I think we can really scale through just like that influence marketing and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the biggest lesson that you've learned in this entire journey so far?
I feel like I've learned so much and like how to make chocolate and just like how to run a business.
When you're starting something, you just have to keep moving forward. Because we've had to figure everything out, and it's difficult. But you just find one thing every day that you can just...
Hello and welcome everyone. This is the Founder Scoop. My name is Jacob Lee, and today I have with me Leilani and McKay Fugal. Thanks guys for coming.
Thank you for having us on.
Thanks for having us.
So tell me guys, what do you guys do here at iHub? What is your business?
So our business is called Defiant Chocolate. We make a high protein, low sugar chocolate bar, unlike anything that's really on the market right now.
That's awesome. How much protein are we talking here?
Depends on the bar, but they're like 15 to 17 grams of protein for our full-size bars.
I love it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a background in like chocolate at all?
No, not really.
Not at all. Yeah, we just kind of came up with the idea, and when we had the idea, we did a lot of research. At first, it was a lot of YouTube, and just kind of along this journey, we learned how to make chocolate and incorporate protein in our chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
The only background we have is in eating chocolate.
Hey, that's a good background to have when you're starting a chocolate brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. So tell me about your guys' entrepreneurial journey. What kind of made you guys want to be entrepreneurs?
Do you want to start?
I can start.
Your side.
So during my senior year of college, I took an entrepreneurship class, and I went to SVU, and it was during 2020, so it was all online, and ended up being here in Utah, and I met McKay while I was taking my online entrepreneurship class. But during that class, I felt like I had a really good teacher and everything, and I was able to kind of get the wheels turning and get a couple of ideas. And I don't know, just learning about entrepreneurship made me want to start something. And yeah.
I love it. What was your situation like?
Mine was, so I've always kind of grown up wanting to do my own thing. My dad is an entrepreneur. He has his own business, pilot chartering business, and his dad, my grandpa, also started his own business, a construction company. So I just kind of always grew up with that in my background, where those are the father figures I had in my life that kind of showed me what they did. It was never really considered anything else. It was always just, like eventually one day I always thought I'm going to start my own business.
That's really cool to have like that kind of legacy in your family.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like there's like pressure to be an entrepreneur?
Oh yeah. I mean, not from my dad or anything. Honestly, it probably freaks them out more. There's not a lot of security in being an entrepreneur, but there's just always pressure to succeed and do the best that we can.
That's awesome. So you guys met, right, when you're taking this class. When did the idea for Defiant Chocolate actually come about?
Yeah, so it came about when we got married. We talked about wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was always a goal of ours when we started dating, because we would, we'd ask all the deep questions as we got engaged and stuff, like obviously like politics, religion, all that. And then another thing was like what our future goals were. And that was something we always aligned on, is we wanted to start our own thing and be our own boss.
Yeah, and we kind of had like the same mindset and everything as that's kind of how we went.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I know you have like some experience with like weightlifting and stuff. Did that kind of funnel into the idea conception?
Yeah, it played a big role in it. We're both fitness enthusiasts. Pretty extreme. I compete in bodybuilding. Leilani played college basketball, and since we started dating and got married, she's gone to the gym with me. Big supporter. So we always thought if we could start something in that world that we're such a part of, that'd be awesome. and yeah.
That's awesome. So, what kind of stuff did you guys do to validate the idea, right? You had this idea, oh, this would be super cool to make protein chocolate. What'd you guys do to make sure that it was going to be a good idea?
So what we did is when we had the idea, we went to and stood outside of Vasa, and I can't remember the exact questions we've had, but basically one of the questions we had was, would you eat a chocolate, like what would you feel about a protein chocolate bar that's actual chocolate? It's not a protein bar, but just like plain chocolate. And we've asked, I can't remember how many people. Was it over 100?
A few hundred people.
Yeah, it was a few
We
hundred
just
people.
Wow.
spent several days outside of gyms just asking questions about, like Lay was saying, if there was a bar like that, would they be interested? What kind of macros would they like to see on a chocolate bar? And what would set it apart from, because the protein bar industry is very saturated. So you have to be pretty unique to get any headway in it.
So you kind of got this data then from these people that were going to the gym, and you kind of figured out from there what you wanted the company to look like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what has been kind of some of the biggest struggles you guys had in growing this company? Like, you don't have a background in chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took us, 2 years to develop the recipes that we use. That was a big challenge. We originally started wanting to work with a co-manufacturer, and we met with a couple mentors. They directed us to one up in Idaho, and we started that right at the beginning and had them start helping us. But pretty soon it was pretty difficult, frustrating.
Yeah.
They were slow to respond because we're so small. When you're a small company, it's hard to get any headway with a big manufacturer of chocolate. So we even one day because we couldn't get a response out of them for weeks, we just said, you know what, we're just going to drive up there. So we took a drive.
No way.
Took a Saturday versus, what was it, Friday?
I think it was Friday to Saturday.
Friday to Saturday, we drove up to Idaho. I was in the middle of a bodybuilding prep at the time, but we just wanted we were pretty frustrated.
And he had like all his like meals like prepped.
Yes,
we
we
had
just
to
bring all my
bring all
meals.
his meals.
Yeah,
Get a hotel,
Yeah.
and we just showed up at their place, and because we just could not get an answer from them. And if we finally got some headway there after, because I kind of showed them how serious we were, but once again they just dropped off and kind of ghosted us on a few calls. So it was a learning experience for us because we had to move on from that, and we found another manufacturer.
Oh, and side note before we move on, that day that we drove up to Idaho, we had to drive back in a snowstorm too.
Oh my gosh.
So it was super scary.
What was that conversation like, by the way? Like, you've driven all the way to Idaho. I imagine you're kind of upset because you're trying to get in
definitely.
contact.
Definitely. I mean, we always try to be nice and understanding, but it was good to sit down with them because they were very polite. They had a good secretary that met with us, so she wasn't the one in charge, but she was a good figure to like make us feel like we were getting our needs met. But then we could kind of tell that they weren't super serious about helping us. Because even the business owner, he came and shook our hands, and he started to try to tell us like how to do things different. He tried to like, you guys should do this. I've had this experience, but the chocolate they make is loaded with sugar, dark chocolate. And he was trying to tell us how to run our business.
Yeah.
And then when we followed up with them when we got back, just no answer on anything.
And like we had like an appointment scheduled to like talk to the chocolatier that was going to make our chocolate, but he felt like he totally stood us up. We didn't hear anything from him.
Yeah.
And so at least, I wish like they would have said, hey, like we can't work with you guys. Like we just have too many, just give us like, just let us know that, they couldn't work with us instead of stood us up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So that was very beginning. That we were with them for 6 to 8 months working on it.
Yeah.
All the while we've always kind of been experimenting at home. We started making it at home, and our first prototypes were horrible, but it was like, it didn't taste amazing, but we had like an actual chocolate bar, and we're like, wow, we could actually do something here. So we just kept working on it while waiting on the manufacturer because we didn't have any experience. We just kept learning.
Did you have a recipe before you went to this manufacturer, or was it?
Yeah. A basic one. Like I said, it wasn't great.
So you were just refining the product while
because
you were waiting.
the way we came up with it is we kind of went backwards, where we said these are the macros we want. Now let's move the ingredients around to achieve that, and then see what comes out of that. And we got a chocolate bar out of it. It was, the perfect macros and everything, but the flavor just wasn't there. So we just needed help tweaking it and making it taste a lot better, have a better consistency while not sacrificing too much on the macros. And that was a frustrating thing because they didn't seem to understand that.
Sure.
Where they were trying to throw a bunch of sugar in there and
make it unhealthy. Whereas like our goal is to defy expectations with our chocolate,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you now, is your recipe like very low sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our bars are very low sugar. Our dark chocolate is sugar free, and then the milk has like trace sugars from the milk itself, but we don't really ever add any sugar into our bars. We just sweeten it with a monk fruit and erythritol.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned earlier, right? You found a different manufacturer. Was that experience a lot better, and are you still working with them?
It was a lot better.
It was.
The experience was a lot better.
It was.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
They were very helpful. They were way out in Ohio, so we couldn't drive out there ever, but they helped us perfect the recipe, at least two of them. Because we have three chocolate bases. We have our milk, dark, and white, and then we can make other flavors from that. So they helped us nail down our dark and our milk, and we paid them to do that. And they were pretty responsive for a while, but at around this time last year, we were just waiting for weeks to get an update or to get another prototype. And the whole time we're trying to keep our business moving and get to a point where we could launch something, but we'd email them, call them, and they're like, yeah, we're working on it. And then weeks would go by, nothing.
Yeah, it became like a whole waiting game. Like we would work on other stuff, but we couldn't like really take off without like our actual product just because we were really slow.
Yeah, and we paid to have like, what was it, 300 pounds of chocolate made through them.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, and that was a minimal order for them. I mean, it wasn't even their minimal. They were nice to us. The minimum they wanted was 10,000 pounds.
10,000 pounds of chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we no longer work with them either. We're doing it all ourselves, mostly because we were stuck on 2 flavors of chocolate with them for about a year. So as soon as we cut ties, we now have 6 flavors that we've developed ourselves.
Wow.
Because we can work on it whenever we want. We can focus on it, and we don't have anything else. We're not a manufacturer of anything else, so we can just focus on our own recipe.
So do you have your own like chocolate factory?
Working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
That's cool. I saw you guys just got a warehouse. Is that part of the whole process?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been making it out of iHub here a lot using the commercial kitchen. That's kind of where we got started. And we recently, as of beginning of November, we leased a small warehouse in American Fork. So we're building that out right now. We have equipment that we've ordered on the way from Italy. So we're trying to, well, it probably won't be here till about January. So we're just getting the warehouse ready for that. And yeah, we're pretty excited because right now it takes us a long time to make any good amount of chocolate.
Yeah.
And the equipment we have coming will let us make a lot more.
That's really cool to hear that you guys have. Most entrepreneurs here on iHub, especially the ones that I've interviewed, they say that iHub's helped them through mentors and through the connections here. But it's cool that iHub has a commercial kitchen that seems like it's been key to developing your guys' product.
Yeah.
It's a very unique situation.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because you need that certification to be able to sell chocolate online and really any product. So that's helped us get ahead and not have to. Well, it's helped us get to this point where we can now grow a little and get our own little warehouse.
Have you guys sold much chocolate already?
Yeah, we've sold a fair amount. We've been selling at farmers markets, and we did 2 events. We did a bodybuilding show this past fall, and we did FightCon. I don't know if you heard of that, but
no, I haven't. What is that?
It was very brand new, but yeah, basically they had like a whole bunch of like random, like what would you say? They had wrestling events and
boxing,
armored
combat, cage fighting.
Holy cow!
And they just had a bunch of vendors there.
Yeah,
so
we were able to
it's
set
pretty
it
cool.
there. And then we recently just opened our online store. Would you say, I think it was about 4 weeks ago. And
Oh, congrats. That's huge.
yeah, it's been fun, and we've been having a couple of orders through there. So it's been fun getting our chocolate out to people in different states. It's kind of fun seeing like people order from different states just by running a couple of ads. And
Wow.
yeah.
That's cool. What kind of advertising have you already done for the company?
Very minimal.
Yeah.
We've just word of mouth, and then we've done like minimal amounts on Instagram and Facebook. And big reason for that is we're very, like I said, we're very limited in what we can make. So it's hard enough for us just to keep up and make enough right now. So we haven't needed to really promote it that much. We want to. As soon as we can start making more, we want to start trying to get in stores and do more extensive ads online. Sponsor events, set up booths at different locations. But
Yeah, and have like influencer marketing.
Sure.
So
Walk me through your plan to scale. It sounds like you got influencers, you have your own warehouse, you're going to keep production internal. What else is key to your guys' growth strategy?
do you want to answer that?
yeah, I think biggest thing, the having influencers. We've had actually quite a few people reach out to us wanting to promote our product. Someone had like over 1 million followers,
Holy cow.
and we want to that's like the biggest thing for us. I think like if we give them these like products for free and like have them showcase them, then if a couple of their followers can buy it, like if we have a couple of their followers buy our product, I think that would be really big for us to. Yeah, I think we can really scale through just like that influence marketing and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's one of our main strategies, and we're in talks with a marketing agency too to see kind of what the cost would be with that, because we want to dominate the online industry for chocolate, because nobody really ships chocolate anywhere. It's very hard to do, and that's what we're trying to overcome. But if we can do that, then we'll be very successful. It's just getting it to people direct to consumer. It's going to be a lot easier for us to keep everything mostly online, because then it's all ships from our warehouse. We can have a better outreach. We do want to stock it in stores across the nation, but that takes a lot of time. Whereas right now we could ship it, like she was saying, we've had orders from Florida, from Washington, D.C. to, I think we even had one in Maine, New York. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's cool.
we're shipping all over the place right now. And it's been good, because if we started the wholesale route, which is what a lot of people recommend with chocolate, then we'd be pretty limited to about Utah. And then we could slowly grow out over the years. But right now we can start sending chocolate to other people and have them experience it too.
So how do you guys ensure that the chocolate doesn't melt when it's being shipped?
Yeah.
So
She's in charge of that.
right now it hasn't been too bad, just because we started when it's gone a little bit cooler, and so like if we ship locally, we won't ship with like cold packs or anything, just because like the weather is a lot cooler. But if we ship to like Florida, we'll pack it in a really nice cold pack. Like we have like what's it called?
Insulated box.
We have an insulated box with we'll like throw in a couple of cool packs and everything. So if we ship out to like Florida or anywhere where it's like super warm, we'll do a cold pack. But as spring starts coming around and summer, we'll eventually have to do all cold pack shipping, just because our chocolate will melt. So
How long has Defiant Chocolate been around?
We've been selling for about 2 months. We've been working on the business for about 2.5 years.
Okay, nice. So this is a big stage for you guys. Like you finally got the solution down, you got the recipe. Now you're onto the selling stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man. So where do you guys see Defiant Chocolate in 5 years from now?
5 years, we see ourselves in a much bigger warehouse leading the chocolate industry. We want to grow it as big as we can. We don't really have plans to sell anytime soon. We love this business. We eat our own chocolate all the time. It works for us, works for the athletes that we're in talks with. So we have a lot of plans on how to grow it. We want to expand our product line. Like I said, get a bigger warehouse, get more equipment, be in stores nationwide would be an awesome step for us too.
Now, you mentioned, right, influencers are a key aspect of your growth strategy. Have you thought about connecting with athletes as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
it's
sure.
definitely a route we want to go. There's a event coming up, the AIMS event with iHub, where there's a bunch of athletes. We're going to be in contact with them. We've had a few reach out to us too.
Yeah, we've had quite
College
a few.
athletes mostly.
Yeah. And there's also a couple of like a bodybuilder that reached out to us and everything. We want to wait until we get our actual equipment so we can actually fulfill those orders.
Yeah.
I mean, this one guy that reached out to us, he has over 1 million followers. And we did the math. We're like, okay, if 1% of his followers bought our chocolate, we wouldn't be able to fulfill it. So we're kind of waiting until
Yeah.
our equipment shows up so we can actually, mass produce it.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a really interesting challenge that product companies face is trying to match supply and demand, right? Because you have to produce the product and you can't deliver immediately when people are ready to buy. And so
Yeah.
it's just kind of playing cat and mouse a little bit.
It's a weird balance.
Yeah.
You don't want to have too much product that you can't sell it, but you also need to have just enough. So it's a fun balance that we're trying to figure out as we grow too.
yeah.
So what have you guys been doing to kind of maintain a balance there?
Really, we just try to keep making chocolate. Like I said, we just keep making it and it keeps selling. So we're just staying just ahead of the demand right now.
So it sounds like you never had too much chocolate. You can sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's never been too much of an issue to sell it. It's mostly just making it right now.
Mm.
Yeah. Because it takes, right now, chocolate is a lot more difficult to make than we thought. Because you see like Hershey's chocolate that they're made in like the millions every day. So you think, oh, how hard can it be? But it takes, just to make one batch of chocolate on the limited equipment we have, it takes a couple days of our time. And then we're hand packaging everything right now.
Wow.
We just got a flow wrapper that we're going to start implementing, but we have to get it set up. But hand packaging takes forever. You have to mold all the chocolate, let it cool down. You have to temper it perfectly
Scrape
good.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a process, but
It's been fun learning how to make chocolate and everything. We just need to be able to do it faster.
I think if anything, it's helping you guys really understand your product. You're in the nitty gritty. You understand every aspect of it, how to make it. It's really cool.
yeah. We've learned a lot. We've made lots of mistakes along the way, but sometimes that's the best way to learn is you make mistakes.
Well, what's been kind of like one of the biggest mistakes you've made? And
I'd say there's been a few. What do you think?
I think probably our packaging. Would you say that would probably be a big mistake at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, when we first started doing events, we didn't know how to, because a lot of like hand wrap bars are in like that foil. We didn't really want to do that, so we've been on the lookout for other things. We got these heat sealed metallic bags that were way too big for our bar, but we started with that. Looked so bad, and then we got one that fits a little bit better. That's a clear wrapper, but then that's all that we had. We just got a simple sticker with our logo on it. Started selling it that way, and then we signed up. Was it FightCon that made us actually start? We signed up for FightCon last minute,
And we're like, we actually need to have like packaging that looks good.
because we had talked and we're like, we can't do FightCon. We can't make enough. And about a week before, they sent out just a general email like last chance to sign up, and I called Lay up and I was like, hey, I think we should do this. And I think she was more nervous about it because she knew how hard it would be to make it all. And we didn't even have nice packaging at that point, but we signed up and she got to work. She designed a temporary little wrap that we could put around that looks really nice. And that's kind of what we've been running with. That was a big mistake.
Also our cocoa liquor.
Yeah. And for that same event, because we signed up for that event and a bodybuilding show that happened the same day. And
that's a busy day.
It was. Yeah. And we didn't have, one of our main ingredients is cocoa liquor, which is a refined version of a cocoa bean. And we were getting really low on our supply of that. So we went to order more. And this past year in the chocolate industry has been really bad. There's been a lot of crops that have been lost. So the prices have gone up and the availability of cocoa liquor has been pretty slim. So our supplier didn't have the usual cocoa liquor we needed. Mm. They had another version from a different brand. And we thought, okay, let's just get that. It should be the same. And it showed up and we made our batch of chocolate and the flavor was completely different because they
Really?
had roasted it
Yeah.
differently. It came from a different country, which totally changes the flavor and texture of the cocoa bean itself.
Interesting.
So it totally changed all the flavor of our chocolate and made it a lot. It was still good, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't the standard that we had set. So that was a big mistake because we made a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, I
out
think
of
we
that.
made about 1,000 bars.
Yeah.
1,000 bars.
But-
and none of them tasted right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not like we wanted to. Like I said, when we were like, so we made some samples and we had a farmer's market that week too, and we had people try it, and people were like, yeah, this is good, this is great. And we're like, but we would try it because we had tried the real thing. We're like, this just isn't as good as it should be.
Yeah. But it did make our dark chocolate better.
Yeah,
I
it
feel
worked
like.
with our dark chocolate, but
Interesting.
the milk chocolate was completely different. It was a
Yeah.
lot of a more harsh flavor, I guess.
Yeah.
Not as sweet as we would have liked.
So do you still use that cocoa liquor for your dark chocolate then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with what we have, yeah. And then we just we placed a big order for the other cocoa liquor, which just showed up last week. Which luckily we were able to find because, like I said, nobody had it. So we found one supplier that had some, so we just ordered almost 1,000 pounds of it, and that's sitting in our warehouse right now. So we should be good for a little while,
Yeah.
but
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool that mishap actually turned out to be a good thing. It helps you develop like your dark chocolate recipe.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Man. So what do you feel like is the biggest lesson that you've learned in this entire journey so far?
That's a great question. I think how hard it is to start a company. Like, it's been really great. It's just, I feel like I've learned so much, and like how to make chocolate, and just like how to run a business. I feel like I didn't realize how many different little aspects there are when it comes to like accounting, to like showcasing like the actual product and like selling it, and just like selling it online and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that when you're starting something, you just have to keep moving forward. Because we've had to figure everything out, and it's difficult. But you just find one thing every day that you can just progress just a little bit. Because sometimes it feels like you're just beating your head against a wall, and that's where we've been getting this off the ground. But it's worth it. I mean, you work, long hour days up in the morning till late at night just to start your own business, and we're just making chocolate, but it's fun. It's our own thing. It's like our baby. We get to see it grow. We get to see the work that we've put in, see people taste it and try it, and that's just because we've just tried to keep moving forward with it no matter what.
Yeah, and don't give up. I feel like a lot of people give up they run into a wall and then they give up on something, and it's okay to if you run into a wall, it's okay to pivot a different way and try to go a different direction with your product.
Well, I really appreciate this. This has helped me a ton. Thank you, Leilani and McKay. Where can people go to learn more about Defiant Chocolate?
Yeah, so we have our website up. It's just defiantchocolate.com. That's where most of our stuff will be right now. Our Instagram, we post all the time about sales and events that we'll be at. That's also just Defiant Chocolate on Instagram, Facebook. We're on there. But yeah.
I love it. And you can buy online, correct?
Yep. We're now selling
Sweet.
online.
I know where I'm going after this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thank
us.
you.